welcome to Xena Warrior Podcast. My name is Vera, and I'm joined, as always, by my two Ayurvedic co-hosts, Katie.
Hello.
And Livy.
Oh, Vera, what's your word mean?
Today's word is brought to us by our good friend Nora. She came in and lobbed us an India-inspired word as we are entering India. It is a form of medicine that is apparently the oldest in the world. So, there we go.
That's cool. That's very fitting for our episode about healing
Is it a
deities.
No, it's an adjective.
Oh.
Ayurveda is the...
Yeah, that makes
medicine.
sense. So Vedic as the adjective.
Guys, why are you making me do some kind of
I don't know
English
how to
I know.
situation?
do vocabulary.
I like when the podcast turns into Sesame Street, where we all learn a word.
Well, I need it the most, so... well, we are in India.
All right.
Whoa!
Like officially.
Oh my god.
Olivia, you got all the
Even though
coins
we were
ready.
already.
Yeah. I'm just sitting on a mountain of coins. We hope they all end up in the jar. But if they're not, don't worry. We got 2 more episodes of this.
And we're going to get more coins. That's for sure. Okay, so appropriately, we have Alanis. Finally, she's just so giddy.
I'm really excited to be in India.
Yeah.
Can you see how excited I am?
I sure can. You're just stark nude and ready to go. Hit it, Alanis.
Thank you, India. We're really sorry that we're talking about this episode.
Woo!
I'm not that sorry.
Vera!
That was just amazing.
We actually
Alanis.
do have some people to thank. So. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Flophouse.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, patrons.
Oh, and Katie, you
what?
have a story to tell.
I do?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
I
a
do.
Xena-related
I
story.
do have it. So, yeah, like, what have we been up to lately?
Besides podcasting
Yeah.
every minute of our lives.
If you're on Patreon, you might already know this already, but I have definitely now sporting a Xena Warrior Princess, a tattoo.
Yay!
I will tweet out pictures and stuff.
Do you want to describe it?
I will describe it, yes. So, like, I have a tattoo of the quote, "The bridge will hold me up," or "The bridge will hold me up."
You have the will underlined there in all caps.
Sweet baby angel Gabrielle leaving Potidia and crossing the bridge to go on many adventures. And it is in Renée O'Connor's beautiful handwriting, which our most excellent friend of the pod, Amanda, got for me at, was it Tampa Bay Comic-Con?
I think so.
Yeah, and I think Renée was informed that it was for a tattoo, to which she was like, "A what now?" And then proceeded to give me 2 different choices of writing. So, like, cursive and then, like, just printed.
And you
so
guys,
I had to, like, struggle.
I can attest that Renee's printing and cursive are both really beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's really great. So, like, I was going to do it anyway, even if it was terrible. But it looks really nice. Wouldn't you agree?
Very much agree.
I hope you agree, because it's here forever. Yeah, so thank you, Amanda, for getting that, and thank you, Renée, for providing.
And thank you, India, once again.
Thank you, India.
Katie, I really love your tattoo.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
But I have one concern, which is that these horrible foreshadowing dreams I've been having about your death, that tattoo has now been added to them. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh. No, it has not yet. That's like next week.
No, we've done that already. That's Paradise Found.
But she hasn't gotten the henna yet.
I know. But it's in the dream. Whatever, dude. It's my reference.
Okay, it was like a...
That was intense. I didn't know what you were talking
You
about.
were like, oh, God, no.
That was TMI almost. All right, let's do this episode. 414 Devi.
Yes.
I said it right.
You did it. Yes.
Written by Chris Mannheim and directed by Garth Maxwell.
Chris, obviously, we just had.
1-2 punch.
Paradise Found. Pretty cool.
We cannot even recognize this Chris. Who is this woman?
She's, a stranger. A very excellent stranger.
So earlier you, like, apologized for even talking about this episode. Did you mean it in that way? In terms of just the episode being one that we may or may not enjoy?
Oh, I'm sure we're going to enjoy talking about it. And I enjoyed watching it, but I still apologize.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's possible to watch something being like, was this a good idea, while enjoying it.
I like this episode. It was really fun.
Oh, I think so too. I mean, I think we've all been kind of anxious and excited to talk about this arc of Xena because it's got so much going on. I think this one is maybe the least. I don't know what the correct word is in terms of sitting down to talk about it.
Would it rhyme with schmoblematic?
It's still all those things. I just don't find it frightening.
Because it's super fun.
In a way that the next two are.
It's a good time.
Not frightening, but like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot to talk about.
Like
this one is fairly straightforward. Yeah. Yes.
That's both a compliment for me and like a criticism. Because the other ones are like full of stuff to unpack, and this one's kind of slight. This one's you're just like, this is fun, this is entertaining, and then you're like, oh, like why go to India just to tell a story that's kind of slight and entertaining and actually could be very easily transposed onto almost any culture, because so many cultures have this idea of demonic possession.
Right.
Like this is The Exorcist straight up.
But this was a story about Jesus.
That's true. Also,
we don't know that yet.
That is also a problem, and we'll get to that. The fact that they went to India to do a story about Jesus.
Yeah, because this episode is about Eli. Surprise.
Yeah.
Surprise, Eli.
Our white guy of the
It's actually more about him than it is about Xena or Gabs.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Well, the episode begins with what the subtitles said, Indian music playing. Mm-hmm. So we enter a montage of all things India. Name the stereotypes, guys.
Oh my god, it's literally all of them.
Yeah. Right off the bat, we have Gabrielle, whose idea was to come here on her spiritual quest. We have seen Xena and Gabrielle go many places. I guess usually they're really in the thick of something. They're not just kind of taking their time. You know what I mean? Like, they go to China, there's a lot going on.
They don't really have time to be tourists
Exactly.
in China.
So here we actually have them being quite different than they usually are when they go somewhere new, which is just they're acting like really irritating tourists. And Gabrielle, I think maybe 30 to 50 times, says, India is so different. It's so different. Oh my God. It's so weird here, basically, which automatically is just not good. This is not
Xena
good.
says, well, it ain't Greece.
And so let's kind of talk about this, like what you said to start in terms of like, I'm really excited for them to be here, and I think that this show is really cool that it goes to so many different countries and it incorporates all these different mythologies that were happening at this ancient time. But the problem is here, we're just starting with them showing up going, look at how weird everything is. Here is a montage of every stereotype that the writers could think of in a row. We got fire walking. We got bed of nails.
Yogi.
Yep.
The woman with the elephant.
Just cows hanging out. Women dancing. Like just really beautiful fabrics, like floating around.
Coin for beautiful fabric.
No, I'm just describing what's happening.
For sure have had beautiful fabrics on this show. And they did a fabric wipe in this one, which we have seen already previously done on this program. So no coin for that, please.
There's a snake charmer.
Oh yeah, the snake charmer.
Oh, 2 for that.
For that, and also because later it's not even used like for any reason.
Well, that's the thing. This is so this is a montage that does set up a bunch of obstacles for our fight later. So it's interesting that they're all here at once, and then they do come into play. So it's not like wasted screen time. But at the same time,
they should still be examining their choices to use all these things in a single fight scene.
And all at once and out of context. Because it's not like these things aren't a part of India. These are things that occur. It's just that when you put them in a montage all at once with 2 white women walking around going, this is so bizarre, you automatically are starting on the wrong foot.
Absolutely.
I'm going to defend one thing about this is that in Gabrielle's dialogue, which mainly was, India's so different, she said it with so much sincerity. And they it's so different and it's beautiful kind of way.
Oh, I definitely
But
think
at the
that
same
she
time,
thinks that, yeah.
we are seeing all these stereotypes.
She also discusses how there's a connection
Yeah.
and that's maybe part of, I don't know what she means in particular in this instance with this montage, but I definitely feel like the show is making a point to like talk about how they're introducing different gods and goddesses systems and stuff that like connect back to what they know in Greece.
Right.
And that Gabrielle herself feels a connection to this place, which is an important point to hit. But maybe not quite written this way, because this sounded like the sort of obnoxious thing a tourist would say.
Yeah.
I feel such a deep, connection with this place. I'm going to, buy a sari and wear it when I go home and tell people about how amazing and spiritual India is. Just no!
Like, I don't want her to be writing, like, eat, pray, love here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's,
Not that there
a
aren't valid
concern.
things in that. There are, like, valid things in all things. But, like, certainly when you're just talking about a story and a narrative in mainstream entertainment, we can do better than this. Yeah, for sure.
All right, so they spot this guy doing like an intense yoga situation with his legs like all wrapped around his head, and they stop in front of him, and Gabrielle's like, see, that's why I do yoga every day. And Xena is like, yoga's really not for me.
You know, we're...
And then she's like,
you're doing
though
it,
I've
though.
done some strange things.
Oh, I like their, like, exchange here. They do seem like, I love how happy they are, though. Like,
Yeah.
and Xena looks really happy. Like, I love Xena kind of
Yeah.
being extraordinarily pleased.
Because this is like, we're seeing them be
Yeah.
tourists. It's really not, we're seeing their like YouTube vlog.
This is also a huge revelation that Gabrielle has been doing yoga since Aiden.
Yeah, continuity.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Like, you'd
I
think
mean,
that-
it's been like 2 days since.
Yeah, but that was a hard experience. She almost turned into a blue faceless statue.
But she liked the breathing. She thought
Yeah.
it was
She
good.
took something
The
positive
good
from
stuff,
it.
like we said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I feel like this didn't come up when we were talking about Paradise Bound, but it was kind of interesting when you're thinking about yoga in this ancient context, where I do feel like there are not that many positions described in any kind of texts. That doesn't show up for a while, and the stuff that does exist, like in the Bhagavad Gita, would be like, you're just supposed to be comfortable, and this does not look comfortable at all.
This is more like the ascetic tradition, right? Where you're just like meant to be uncomfortable.
I guess so,
It's a way
yeah.
of exiting your body.
Yeah, so now that we're in this particular place, we should have Gabrielle doing stuff like that.
Well,
more
Gabrielle
often.
says-
Just cut to her, like, pretzeling.
Well, I mean, it's going to be useful for her because she goes to Xena, when you're crippled and old and I'm doing headstands, I'll remind you of this. Because Xena made fun of Gabrielle's yoga.
And she's like, oh, I bet you will. Ooh, cute.
I really like Xena's hair this episode.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god, my note is that I don't.
You don't like the braid
Whoa!
headband? I think you
First
said
of
that
all-
before.
Why
The
not?
braid
Oh, you just hate
headband-
that headband.
Is not my favorite look, but I think that there's something going on with her bangs, and what I suspect is that they didn't put in like her filler bangs.
Oh, they're like wispy
They're
bangs.
very
Yeah,
thin,
for sure.
So I didn't like that.
I like it.
I prefer them thin, yeah.
I mean, I thought I would,
This
but
is
I
like
don't.
the most blasphemous thing,
Yeah.
right? People are gonna like come at us
But
for
I'm
like the
excited
bangs
for
discussion.
Yeah, the bangs discussion next step is going to be great.
Well, I think she looks soft and pretty, and yeah, maybe definitely gives you that vibe of I'm on vacation. I didn't feel like putting
yeah.
in my filler bangs today.
Didn't you one time say on a talk show that they're made out of horsehair? Am I wrong?
Oh my god, that's really funny.
I don't know. Okay, so they hear there's like a show happening in the square, and they go check it out.
This is actually my whole issue with this sequence, the fact that the whole thing kind of feels like a show being put on for them. I
Yeah,
think when you're
like-
saying like all the stereotypes collected, it just feels like India is a warm-up act for Eli's magic show.
Oh no.
Which is real bad.
Which then
But
becomes
it's a coincidence. Eli's magic show just happens to be right next to the snake charmer,
And the
coal
guy on the
walking
bed of
guy,
nails.
and the nails guy, and the elephant.
if it weren't a TV show being written, for sure. But yeah.
But as a tourist, you constantly run into like street performances.
Yeah,
so this is not
absolutely.
like, to me, this was like the most real thing for them being tourists.
Oh, running into the Eli?
No, running into like a street performance, like a magic show in
Oh, sure.
a crowd gathering.
Oh, sure. I just think some of the stuff was just, like, thrown in there, but, like, taken out of context. Like, I don't think you'd show up in the square and here's a guy firewalking. Like, he's just, seems like he's just, oh, I'm doing this for fun. It's not like a festival or something. You know what I mean?
In fact, that would have been a nice solution to this issue, to have
it was like
be
a
a festival.
or something,
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I
That's
did
too
find
much
myself,
money.
I wanted slice of life. Like, I wanted just the whole way this kind of opening scene was choreographed to feel more like an actual village doing its thing, as opposed to just a bunch of people putting on a performance for Xena and Gabs. We should say, in the midst of our criticizing all of this, that, fuck yeah, the production values for this are amazing.
They are really amazing. They have an elephant.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
amazing.
awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely the white lady is the elephant handler.
Yeah, she
who
comes
walks
back
across the screen.
and walks across the screen again at the end.
Yeah, everything looks really great, and they did get like 100 extras, a lot of whom seem to be Indian or South Asian. There is a sense of place there, and then it just becomes a crazy montage of just too much.
Yeah, you sense a lot of attention to detail and effort being put into the production side of things.
It's like they're proud of it
nice.
Almost. You're like, look at all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think
in
a way that's the issue, is they're so proud of their hard work that they're like, let's just parade it out. Here's this guy and here's that guy. And you're like, no, like, make this feel like a place. Don't make it feel like your show and tell project.
A theme park.
Yeah, theme park is a good word for it.
So our street magician, his name is Eli, but we don't know that yet.
We don't.
But he is putting on this crazy act where his assistant Maya, who is an Indian woman.
She's cool.
She's cool.
I was totally into her. I thought she was awesome. She had really muscular arms.
Well, she should. She climbs ropes to the heavens.
Yeah.
So
Maya means illusion.
Whoa.
Are you saying she's an illusion?
No, we're not in illusion.
We are in
anymore.
illusion, remember? Always. So his whole thing is that he sends this rope to the heavens, and Xena's like, well, it's totally like she knows the trick. And he asks for any skeptics in the audience, and Gabrielle shoves
pushes Scully out of the way and is like, Xena, get up there.
And Xena cuts the bottom of the rope, and the rope is just like hanging midair. And that's weird.
And she's correct in the terms of like what this trick actually is, but then here it's not.
Yeah.
So the thing about the coil itself, balancing it, that's cool. That's cool. Cool trick.
Because she has many skills,
right?
so part-time magician is one of her
Obviously.
skills.
I really like the wide shots of this where you just see the CGI rope. I thought that it came out really nice. Simple CGI, always best.
There's some really great touches in this scene.
Oh, like my favorite bit of the episode, almost.
Really? I hope I don't know.
I bet it's the same.
Yeah,
thing.
it's when Maya stomps at the balcony and just takes some food from that lady hanging out. That's such a great little moment.
Slice of life, details. That's what I was hungry for
good,
here.
yeah.
Like, that was a moment where I was like, this is a real woman, and that's her friend, and this is a place.
I don't know if that's her friend. I think that's a lady who's watching it from her balcony.
And just was like,
and eating her popcorn.
She's like, can I get some of that?
Yeah.
Well, I love that version of it too. Anyway, just anytime you have a new location, you want to feel like the world of it is kind of like spilling out from the edges of the frame. And this is a great example of that happening.
So, I mean, you already mentioned the wide shot, but I wanted to point out that in like I guess, is it the temple that's behind them, or is it just like a house?
Yeah, I think just a house.
Okay, so the house behind them had Jewish Stars of David.
Oh, yes, that's right.
And like around that were like little kind of cross imagery. So we have a lot of like Judeo-Christian, the whole,
in the mix.
Yeah, in the whole mix.
And a lot of the architecture, since it's based on India, it has a lot of Islamic influence.
Yeah.
You see those sort of like rounded and then pointy archways.
Yeah, you feel like you're in Dorne.
Yeah, bit of Dorne thrown in there. They've done a really amazing job with the sets, which I think are just kind of imaginatively redressed village sets.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so they've just, new paint job, slightly different ornamental details, and voila, you're in India.
I totally think that you can't tell that it's the same town anymore, the same village.
And I think director Garth Maxwell has done just a really good job of like making it feel different. There's just something about the quality of the light that feels like a new place. Garth Maxwell, you may remember from such episodes as Past Imperfect. I think that was his most recent. And then the other one that jumps into my brain is Mortal Beloved. So look how far he's come.
Yeah.
And also, those bitches went to the underworld and now they're in India and they're like, this is so weird. Like,
I know.
fuck off. Fuck
Like,
off.
honestly.
Okay, only Xena went.
That's true. Okay.
Oh, but
She's
I
less
mean, Gabrielle's
impressed.
been to the Elysian Fields.
Yeah.
That's like...
They've both been to Illusia, which is
But I guess
legit
Right now,
strange.
really, yeah. And they just were in a melty
Yeah.
cave.
Yeah.
Hole.
Oh.
Cave hole.
I was gonna say that, like, the Elysian Fields probably weren't that weird for Gabs, because, like, she just, like, talked to her Uncle Maropes for a couple minutes.
All right, so Maya makes it to the end of the rope, and she's like, you know, giddily like, bye, I'm gonna go now. And Eli says his magic words,
Takaya.
Dracaris, and poops her out of existence.
I love Xena's face this whole time. I just super enjoy her being enamored with this situation.
I like that what she's doing is clearly trying to like
Figure it
guess
out.
the trick. She's like, I'm gonna get it. Like I totally will.
Because Xena's into thinking, not faith. Ironic, considering one of
but
the lines
also
later.
she's like totally like I know everything.
Yeah, this is her favorite kind of thing. Like, you watch something to figure out what's
Yeah.
going on. She always is trying to read people and figure things out.
Well, that line makes sense later at the end, but it's very specific to
The circumstance.
yeah.
Yes.
So he like goes, ladies and gentlemen, if it's true that seeing is believing, then you have just witnessed a miracle, and calls for Maya to return. But Maya does not return.
And they're sort of standing awkwardly. They're waiting. I
Yeah.
love this like weird reaction shot of the rope. Just, like,
Yeah,
the end
kinda
of the rope, like waving.
jiggering.
Like, I don't know what's going on.
And then Maya does return, but literally
In
in pieces.
That's part of it. That's part of this trick.
Oh,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's how it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
According to the internet.
gross and amazing. I appreciate
Right?
that.
It's pretty
Yeah.
rad. And I love that everyone knows that they're watching some kind of magic trick, seemingly, because no one is
freaks
really
out.
like...
And like Gabrielle laughs
Yeah,
when he
like, they're
puts
just
her
like, "This is so
pieces into a
funny."
trunk. He's like shoving her body parts and cut off torso into a trunk, and Gabrielle's laughing.
Gabrielle has seen some shit.
Yeah, that's true.
He does another chant, and then Maya emerges whole from the trunk, but she comes back wrong.
Dun dun dun. She's got them milky eyes.
And the hissing.
Yeah, this is very Evil Dead, this look.
And then she does like super swords.
With those muscular arms she has.
Yeah. So Xena flips in and coils her whip around Maya and sends her spinning like a top.
I like that bit where you see the close-up of the rope wrapping round and round and round Maya's waist, and she kind of looks down at it like, ooh, we're dancing.
Yeah, she's
She's having a good time.
Yeah,
I
this
missed this
demon-
lady when she was gone.
not the lady specifically. I think it's
I mean, the demon
the
clearly,
demon
yeah.
is like
She-
such a party girl.
She has a consistent personality.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter whose body she's in.
Yeah.
She's enjoying herself.
I also really like behind Eli there was a little bit of like I don't even know what it was, but it looked like a cut out like paper cardboard shock room
Oh,
situation.
Whoa, I did not notice that.
Man, I don't know.
So you can buy your
Just-
own little collectible shock
I
room
guess so.
in a stall there.
So that does not stop Maya, and in fact, she starts doing the swords like super speed now, super duper
She
swords.
carves up a watermelon really fast.
Cause Xena throws a watermelon at her. Why?
Stupid idea, yeah. She did it just because
Just
she's like,
'cause.
I'm thirsty, make me some juice.
They invented that Fruit Ninja app right then and there.
Oh my god, that is Fruit Ninja. Good job. Good
Xena
reference.
did it first.
Xena did it first.
And Eli's freaking out. He's like, she's possessed. And then he says, Abba, help me.
which is potentially a clue.
It's a
For
big
Eli.
clue. Yeah.
I think his look is a pretty huge
I hope
Look,
so.
it's quite a clue. But
One
this
hopes at this point, yes.
particular line. I mean, should we explain
Yeah,
it?
Abba is Hebrew for father, so he's
Right.
calling for his daddy.
Yeah, because his daddy is G-O-D.
I can't wait to get into this stuff. Oh, I can't wait.
And then Xena flips in, kicks Maya right into him, and Maya really then starts like freaking out, like super duper fast speed.
So
like seizuring almost.
So let's just, spoil the whole episode because everybody knows what's going on here in this episode. On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is it for the story that the demon possesses Maya and immediately she's a deadite, like crazy fast, and then the rest of the story is slow possession of Gabrielle, who is immediately possessed.
Chris Mannheim has addressed this. That
Okay.
doesn't mean I think it's good.
I did not
But she
read
has
this.
a justification.
Okay.
Which is that Tataka, when she possesses Maya, is just like, oh, cool, a human host. I'm going to go fuck shit up. She didn't know that there would be a Devi there to immediately expel her with the touch of his or her magical hands.
Okay.
So when Tataka realizes that, she's like, oh, I got to be way stealthier next time. So that
Fast thinker.
this Devi doesn't track me down.
Okay.
That's the justification.
She's a
Does
smart
that
bitch.
play in the episode?
Yes.
Debatable.
I think it does.
Well, and that is another. Let's just get into it. I just need to know the answer, or at least what you guys think. Where like so much of the writing and stuff, and like the acting leading progressively in increments towards just being completely possessed. Like you see Gabrielle a lot in there, but if that's the case, then the whole time, what we're seeing is Gabrielle is Tataka being a sneaky demon.
I think
Yeah.
The whole time, 100%.
No. She lets
Yeah.
Gabrielle do stuff.
She lets him, that's part of
Yeah,
it.
that's part of it.
Okay.
She's a smart little bee.
Got it.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's hard to tell who's who, and that's kind of fun. It's fun to look at certain moments where literally at the beginning of the sentence it sounds like Gabrielle, and by the end you're like, ooh, that's Tataka.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
think that's
Okay.
Tataka in general being like, I'll take control when I need to.
Okay.
They both have a hand on the steering wheel.
Okay.
So speaking of hands, Gabrielle runs up to try to help Maya, and she touches her, and then the demon like pops out of her. And by the way, this demon, when she's in like the floaty form, totally screams like the shellfish.
Okay, so this demon is actually a marine wildlife, because we know that's the sound they make.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it seems that she's just like, and like floats
To me,
away.
she literally looked like, one of those, the really lame Halloween costume where you just have the sheet. That was what this demon looked like. It was
I
just
guess
this
so,
floaty
yeah.
sheet.
So she floats away, and you're like, okay, phew. This dude walks up. He looks like he's important in this village. He is the priest. His name is Vikram. And he's like, everyone chillax. A higher power has interfered and got that demon out.
But meanwhile, the crowd is like, no, sir, we will not relax. It wasn't a higher power. It was that blonde girl right there.
Yeah. So there's this one guy in the audience that's like super intense, and he's like immediately jumps to conclusions. And he's like, she's a Devi.
I love how we're being so careful to pronounce this properly. We're doing
I'm going to fail.
a good job, unlike the people in the episode.
I'm going to fail, so I'm just going to let you know right now. So Gabrielle's like, what's a Devi?
And Eli tells us that it's a healing deity, even though it's a goddess. Mm-hmm. Slightly different, but okay, Chris.
Yes, the feminine form of Deva.
So the priest blames Eli for bringing the evil spirits to their town. He mentions how there was like a blind baker, or a baker who went blind.
That's Asia. That's her name.
We don't need their names.
I like it.
Okay.
Asia the baker and Chandra the seamstress blinded by her own hand.
Yeah, that's weird.
That is weird. What the fuck, Eli? Why did you come to that town and make all this bad stuff happen?
And the
It
dude...
sounds like he actually did do these things.
I don't know. I think they're all
They're
coincidences.
weird coincidences.
Yeah, they're weird coincidences. And then that guy from the audience is like, kill him! Because he is very quick to jump to conclusions. And Eli's like, I don't have any spiritual powers. I do illusions. Illusions, Michael.
Michael. Last week, someone blew themselves.
Yeah.
Good. Xena did it first. Take that, Ron Howard.
And Xena grabs Eli and they go into like the door of the house behind them.
It's a cabinet. They go into like a little cabinet.
it's
Magician's magic cabinet.
Well, yeah, because then when the priest comes on and like opens the door and no one's there.
Because it's a false back.
Whoa.
Or maybe they apparated.
Is your name Xena? Why are you trying to, like, tell us what the tricks are?
Well, you know, Vera, as
Believe
film
in
students, like, our whole job is to explain how the magic trick that is cinema, how it happens.
Gabrielle has stayed behind to address the crowd and calm them down, but they are very much not calm and instead are just like chanting, Devi, Devi, at her. And she's like, no, you're wrong.
And they touch her hair. It's a lot of touching. This is, I believe Katie called it this episode's Misa moment.
Oh,
which is 100%
can you just
legit,
put in a coin for the Misa moment on Game of Thrones?
There's a few of those.
Put them all in.
This is a big one.
Yeah, I feel like, the visual matches in a way. We should probably explain.
Yeah, what that Misa moment is.
I do think though that it's important to, if we want to talk about like the idea of a white savior, how this story is not really doing the Misa thing that Game of Thrones is
Game
doing.
Of Thrones.
Yeah.
Daenerys.
It's just more like a visual, and then like maybe some stuff Gabs has as like ideas for herself.
Yeah.
But also it's really a story about a demon. Like, so it's
and
not
it's
like,
of course meant to be offensive. She's like an exploitative demon who makes people love her and then like betrays them. So.
Yeah. So it's not quite, it's got one foot in the water of that trope and is visually doing stuff that is reflective.
It's definitely, you just that very visual of a crowd of people worshiping this white lady is immediately, you're just like, oh no.
Yeah.
We've been in India 5 minutes and this is happening.
Yeah.
When we're talking about this stuff, it's really important to really dig into what the story is doing, which we will continue to do as we go through the episode. Instead of like, you don't want to just have a kind of knee-jerk reaction to every visual that you see, because there's might be something more complicated going on, which I think there is in the episode, but I also think that, coin in the jar for the imagery for sure.
So the crowd has swept Gabrielle up, and they're, Devi chanting. This dude comes up, and he has one eye is like really messed up. It's blind. And he kisses her hand, and like the motion of her hand touching his face cures his blind eye. He can see again. Oh my God.
I love how he turns around and he's like, Shaka, Amal, look you guys.
I do love that.
It was, again, kind
the
of like...
slice of life thing.
Yeah, like this guy has friends and he really wants them to know he's not blind anymore.
Yeah, I mean, he was like seeing them through his weird blind eye. So meanwhile, Xena and Eli are hiding in this temple, and he asks if Gabrielle is really a Devi, and Xena's like, not last time I looked.
I love her stance here. She's got her arms folded in front of her, and she looks super skeptical of just everything. Of this temple set, of Eli, of life, of her wispy bangs.
Yeah.
I love Xena in this episode. Like, I just love how she is the whole time.
It's real good. You said something nice to me, which is that you recognize this Xena in a way that you hadn't for a few weeks.
Yeah.
She's just, this is like, the platonic ideal Xena, who's just kind of there. She's
worried about
concerned. She's figuring stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Woosh, some comments on there were kind of backing up this sentiment. To some, I think we brought this up before, but like people getting, I think, very perturbed at the extreme acting
of
Lucy.
Everybody? Oh, okay. I was just like, extreme acting.
Which would have been like peak the week before.
Yeah, Paradise Found had some extreme acting. I mean, we gotta love her. She's extreme.
It's just
she
so
can
weird
go,
because it's
go
not...
hard.
But it's like if the shoe fits, then you had Paradise Found, which like 20 minutes of that is like crazy pants.
Yeah,
Five.
but if you
It's
just
5.
It feels like 20.
If you just delete that part from the episode, you have amazing Xena acting.
But she's getting all twitchy.
Yeah, but...
No, it's good. But
then
anyway,
she's worried about Gabrielle.
I think that she's great in this one.
Yeah,
I thought she was great all the time. I like that stuff. I don't have like a problem with it. But I understand where people are coming from. But like, I like...
This is just very familiar in a cozy way.
Well, I like that she seemed kind of annoyed because she cannot explain what's going on with Gabrielle.
Or with Eli, for that matter.
Yeah. He starts hypnotizing her with this candle.
I have a note that says her makeup looks really good here as she stares into this candle flame. I wrote it, and now I don't know how good it looked or why, but it looked good.
Yeah, Eli starts doing the thing where you take your fingertips and you like run them through a big ol' candle flame.
This was cool. I've never seen anybody do that as a method for hypnotizing someone. I thought that was a neat trick.
I think it's probably like a special skill on Timothy Odmondson's CV.
Flame hypnotism.
No, running your fingers through flame. And they're like, great, let's do it.
It was like, please cast me. Look into the flame, cast me.
Actually, it's a really cool detail later when you have a wide shot of him after, spoilers, Xena's like, haha, you're not hypnotizing me, I've been faking it. That you see on his fingertips, they're like black.
Oh, that is cool. I really like the way this character is being presented up till now. The fact that he's not trustworthy. You know, here he is trying to hypnotize Xena and, like, grill her for everything she knows about Gabs.
Yeah,
he seems like a baddie.
They're very much, like, working overtime to be like, oh, this guy's shifty. But, come on.
I don't know.
He's the other white guy in India.
Jeez. I like it. I like the slightly squirrely vibe. And I think considering who this guy turns out to be,
that's what the best part
that's
is.
very bold. That is a very bold, nigh on blasphemous choice. and thumbs up, guys. I think it's cool.
He was trying to hypnotize her to find out, like, the truth about Gabrielle's new healing abilities.
And this, you imagine, is what he does. He runs into instances of miracle working and then, like, goes around almost like a cop, you know, grilling everybody via hypnotism.
Try to figure it out and, like, kind of gain that skill just like Xena does.
Ooh, I like that parallel. Yeah, he's greedy for knowledge. Yeah.
Meanwhile, outside, we have a bunch of guys and they're swearing fealty to Gabrielle.
You have my sword and my axe.
And my bow.
Yeah, what he says he's her servant and defender, correct?
Yes.
An old woman also applies a bindi to Gabrielle now?
Yep. What do you guys think? Because we have before made comments about when you're in the place and the people in the place invite you and give you stuff that is more acceptable than, say, she puts a bindi on and goes to Coachella. It's not the same thing.
It's never acceptable to go to Coachella. But yeah, this I think is the instance in which this is good. She's being given a gift and she's wearing it proudly. And even her later outfit, she will say, like, these are the things people gave me. Like, I like that in this episode. It's actually very careful to defend the costuming choices, like, textually.
Mm-hmm.
The priest kind of walks by and sees this whole thing and he's very not happy about it. And he's like, suffer not a demonizer among you.
What do you guys think of this priest?
I think he's cool.
Yeah.
I really like his voice.
Yeah.
Very, very beautiful voice. I was sad he got killed so quickly.
Yeah, I was going to say, I kind of wanted him to be around way more.
Yeah. As the kind of, you know, highest up South Asian name on the cast list. They had to kill him in the first 10 minutes.
I looked him up to see if, like, I knew him from anywhere else, but he does a lot of voice acting, I would think, with his beautiful
Yeah, it's so beautiful. I was like, yes, suffer not the demonizer.
Eli was questioning Xena about how Gabrielle found the power, and he sort of reveals that he's been looking for basically like a real way to work a miracle without any tricks. And we go into his backstory a little bit.
Yeah, he said he saved a friend's dad from convulsions. He laid hands on him and he stopped and never had any ever again. So a very particular type of healing story.
Yeah, so this happened when he was 13.
And but he's never been able to do it again.
Yeah. And he goes like, I just thought that if your friend had found a way to ease people's suffering, that maybe she could share it with me. So I feel like lines like that make Xena go from suspicion to like, this guy has good intentions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting character because he's using these methods that seem a little like side-eye because he's, eroding people's free will by hypnotizing them, but it's for a good cause. So I like that there's some ambiguity in this portrayal. He's a good guy, but he might also be in means justify the, that one sort of a guy.
The priest enters the temple and he's like, what the fuck? And he's really not friendly.
He says in his voice, what the fuck?
And he's really not friendly to Xena.
He kind of sounds Australian British.
Yeah, he definitely sounds a bit
posh,
fancy.
a
bit fancy. Yeah.
You guys are really going on about this guy.
Vikram, we love you.
So he's not friendly towards Xena because he's not into people who protect like evil beings.
And Xena's like, what? I didn't help Eli that much. And he's like, not Eli, you fool.
Your friend. What is she? A Devi or a harbinger of evil?
How does he know?
Because he just knows. He's a priest. Oh, you know what? He's like very vigilant about, possible evil demons.
Constant vigilance.
Yeah. And then Xena sort of like threatens him, but in a weird way.
Yeah, I was so confused by that. I was like, Xena, you trust Eli even though he's like the shiftiest ever. And this nice priest who's like, I sense something evil afoot, which seems like a reasonable thing to sense. And she's like, watch your back, guys. Someone's going to murder you and it'll be me. Like, what?
All right, so it's sunset, and we kind of have, at this point, a Chris Mannheim staple.
I love that this has become Chris's staple.
Crazy.
Who are you, Chris? Who are you? What have you done with the former Chris Mannheim? Is this Tataka?
If it is, she can stay. So yeah, we hear some pleasurable moaning. That's great.
I love how good, this is like a through line through season 4, that Gabs has gotten really good at massage.
Yeah.
Xena needs a lot of massages.
I love
poor muscles
yeah,
and stuff.
She makes a joke. Maybe you are a Devi after all.
And then I love that Gabs answers the question seriously, and Xena's like, it was meant to be a joke. God damn it, it was meant to be a joke.
Yeah, she really runs with it.
She's like, her face does so many good things in this scene. Listening faces, like where her expression just like falls. Listening to Gabrielle, who is, I think, wearing a very long scarf.
She's wearing a scarf, which I think is called a dupatta.
Okay.
She's starting to get more and more kind of visually transforming.
My favorite face that Xena makes in the scene is just that like half smile that's kind of frozen there.
Yeah.
She probably does it after this bad Davy joke. She's just like, the smile doesn't leave, but it just like freezes and won't go away.
Yeah.
Gabrielle starts telling Xena about the blind guy she healed. And that was weird.
Yeah.
Like that happened.
That was weird. She even says something like, I don't really know how to tell you this. Like, it's that weird.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if like that happened to you. I mean, what would she be thinking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she then asks Xena what it felt like for her when she had a spirit in her. It's Autolycus.
Really?
No, it's not.
It's not?
It's 100% Syntrade, which was full of people being filled with spirits.
Oh, you're right. But I couldn't help but think of Autolycus because he was like in her.
That's really funny.
Excuse
or no, wait, she was in him. She was in him. You're right.
Hello.
You're right.
Hello.
All the Autolycus Xena shippers are like, he was in her, all right.
Earth to everyone else. So like Xena told her everything about the Syntrades.
Yes, 100% she did.
Okay.
Well, because she had to write it down in the Xena scroll.
You're right. That otherwise we'd be able to
We
watch
wouldn't
the
have watched
episode.
the episode. Come on, Katie, get out of the podcast.
God damn it. Forget it. Scratch
Well,
that.
I just
Cut it
said
out.
that she was in Autolycus or whatever.
I just can't really.
We're both out of the podcast. It's just me now. It's just me and the
You're
lies.
right. You're right. But I'm trying to like think of like Xena telling her the giant story of Syntrades.
So Xena like kind of reacts to that. She's like, "Is that what happened?" Because there are spirits that are good and bad, but they're smart, and sometimes you can't tell one from the other.
This Xena also knows from Syntrade.
From Autolycus. Gabrielle insists that it wasn't bad. It was beautiful. And she's like, I healed.
Yeah, there's so much soft voice here. This is sort of like a raised soft voice. She's like shouting in the soft voice. It's impressive.
I mean, I like what she was saying. She's like, healing has all that she's ever dreamed of doing.
Who is it?
Apparently.
Well, not like being a doctor,
Like-
but whatever
In the
Aiden
context
said,
of this.
healing the world,
Right.
doing good.
But it's weird because previously, she wanted to like work in a hospital. She wanted to. I mean, the story was sort of pushing her towards being a doctor.
She has several dreams. She can hold many dreams at once.
Yeah, but it's a good alternative, I think. Like, that's the only thing she can think of that's kind of not Xena's path, is, being that person who stays, at the back of the battle, helping to heal.
And I think there are comments and stuff about this, but I think that especially this season and during this particular part of her journey and kind of going forward until they kind of pick it up again, her just writerly bardness that's not something that she's going to say anymore.
Yeah.
At least not right now.
She goes, now that I have this ability, I think I understand that power. The power to control life and death.
This is the line I was thinking of when I said that the beginning starts as Gabs and by the end it's Tataka.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, because she's in that cool blue light and is definitely being evil.
Sort of evil half smile at the night
The,
sky,
power
being
tripping.
trying to hold in the mwahahaha.
What's fun is that that Gabrielle does have the tendency to do a little power tripping when she gets control. So
You're thinking of the Titans.
I am.
Who knew that
Tiny
the Titans
baby Gabs.
would come back
So
in this
important.
big way?
Crucial episode.
But this is a demon.
Yeah, she goes and, as you mentioned, stares ominously into the night sky off of this balcony in their room. And Xena, who has been sitting on the bed, kind of listening and watching this, is like, "Uh-oh, this is bad."
Mm-hmm. So explain to me the next scene where she's Xena's sitting on the bed and there's a bunch of zooms out the window.
Yeah,
And back.
We went to a commercial break.
Yes.
And after the commercial break, there's this ominous kind of really cool push in on Xena, still sitting on that bed, and then reverse push out of the balcony. Balcony is now lit up like it's bright daylight. It's orangey. And to me, this looked like, oh my God, this is a dream.
It felt a bit surreal.
Yeah, because it was just so different. But no, instead it was just the fact that Xena stayed up all night.
Okay.
Thinking about
Leaving.
whatever, making a plan. Gabrielle is fucked.
So it's just her being really tired.
It's her being freaked out by the situation and the fact that she didn't sleep all night at all.
Gotta get out of here.
Yeah, I really liked that it was kind of like this switcheroo where it really makes you think that this is some kind of dream sequence, that's going to start. But it's not.
And then there's Gabrielle lying in bed, seemingly asleep. But I love that on the reverse shot, you see that her eyes are open too. Nobody in this room slept that night.
I love her fake waking up. Very cute. Yeah, so Xena's basically trying to get Gabrielle to agree to leave. And she's like, yes, go get some brekkie, do some yoga, hit the road. Whee!
And Gabrielle's like, who are you and what have you done with Xena?
She gets suspicious. She assumes this is some kind of test to see if this is still Gabrielle. I'm not sure how one would fail it by not knowing how to do yoga, by being excited and thinking it's normal that Xena wants to do yoga with her.
Yeah. She's like, relax. It was probably a fluke. Whatever happened yesterday. Everybody forgot about this. It's fine, Xena. Don't worry about it. And she goes on the balcony and it's an even bigger crowd has gathered, being all like, Devi.
Yeah, I think this might be all 100 of the extras.
They're like, she lives up there, yay.
I like that you see her reaction, which, Xena's horrified.
She runs out of there.
Yeah, Gabs is enjoying it.
She's basking in it.
Yeah, she is basking. Good word. And I also noticed that her makeup was a little bit darker than standard. So
Tataka did a little touch up. So Xena literally sprinted out of that balcony and straight into the temple to find the priest. She finds him, but he's dead.
Vikram! We'll never hear that beautiful voice again.
So he's hanging from the ceiling, and she hears something and throws her sword, and it's just Eli. She almost cuts his head off.
Yeah, he's sworded to a pillar, because he's a slippery motherfucker. And Eli's like, what? I didn't kill him. Clearly he killed himself, because he's hanging off that rope near that altar that I guess he stepped off of.
And then they like go like CSI Mumbai on this, and they're like, but wait a minute, the angle at which he's hanging compared to the altar, he couldn't have hanged himself. It must have been the dogs. This whole sequence is weird.
I was really
like,
confused because like you never see anything they're talking about. If you were watching
You see
CSI, you would get close-ups.
The
of
altar,
flashbacks.
the altar's right behind him, and
Yeah, but-
he was claiming that he jumped off of the altar to
But
hang
that doesn't even
himself.
make sense because the altar
It's like way far away.
Where was it? I couldn't even see it. I looked like, to me, like he was saying he jumped off something that would have just made him land 1 foot onto the floor.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really understand.
Listen,
what was
Eli is
happening.
not a good detective.
Yeah,
okay?
he's really bad at this.
Also, this is literally kind of like the same detective work that was done in Warrior ... Princess.
oh, that's right,
Yeah,
right.
they
The
had a
guy
fake
who,
hanging,
who was
yeah.
really murdered.
Yep. Just like Priest. So they go outside and they see Gabrielle in the Devi parade. And Eli remarks on all the muscle that is now gathered around Gabrielle. I love the height difference there with the muscle because she's like
tall and small.
she's up to their shoulders. So whenever you have just like a close up of her, it's just like their chests
You
behind
can't
her.
even see him.
Yeah, exactly.
I like the umbrella.
Yeah, I mean,
a nice touch.
she's strutting. I love it. She whispers something to them, and then they all like disappear. And Xena goes to check out what's going on. Eli kind of has a momentary eye contact with Gabrielle.
She stares him down, and
Yeah.
he just runs away.
He freaks out.
Which is great.
Wouldn't
freaks.
you?
Yeah, if I ever meet Renee O'Connor, this will 100% be my reaction. She'll look at me, and I will just turn tail and run.
Would dogs be chasing you?
Probably. Dogs chase me wherever I go.
Because dogs are chasing Eli big time. It's an extensive dog chase, you guys.
I love these dogs. I love their little growly faces with their teeth.
Later, does he say that those were dudes?
Yeah, I think the bodyguards were ordered to leave Tataka and transform into dogs.
Oh,
That
I
I-
did not get that.
Well, they never actually say that, but they're like, do you think it's a coincidence that her bodyguards disappeared and then we were chased by dogs?
Yeah, it's like
and I was
you
like,
put it together.
Yes.
I was like,
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it seemed to me like it would be way more effective for just the bodyguards to chase as
him.
humans. 'cause,
yeah, because
know,
you don't have to get dogs and have a dog wrangler and then film with animals because you're not supposed to film with animals or small kids ever.
no.
So production values, guys, they had a lot in this
I love this
episode.
dog chase. Don't get me wrong. I love the dogs. I love the shots they got with the dogs.
POV
Yeah, you
dogs.
get dog POV. I love that shot where the camera's on the ground pointing up to the sky and you see dog bellies flying over it. I thought that was great. I love when they drop the silk off the laundry line and the dogs, you really do see them getting caught in it. They did that to the dogs.
Aw.
It turned out real well. It looked good. And them leaping over the barrels, very athletic. Good job, dogs.
Oh, you know what I just realized? Do you think this was? Damn it, I haven't looked, but do you think Resident Evil had come out and there was a lot of evil dogs?
Oh, yeah,
and I
the
bet they
zombie
were
dogs.
like, oh, we need some dogs. We need a dog chase.
I like this theory, sure. Except isn't Resident Evil from like the early 2000s?
No, it's.
I don't know.
I don't
I don't know dates.
Oh man, then Resident Evil saw this, and it was
Yeah.
like,
Xena
no.
Jennifer.
No, there was a game. Dog chase, Xena gets her whip, saves the day, swings them out of there, and they kind of emerge in this opening, and we just hear Gabrielle's voice, and she's just like, "Thank you for the pearls. They're beautiful." And then Eli does what he does best and runs into a woman, or a woman runs into him. This happens like so much
he's
in this
always
episode.
not. I love that they've made Jesus a snake oil salesman and a klutz.
Spoilers.
This is quite some choices.
So the pearls go everywhere, and she freaks out and goes, "My pearls!"
It's so funny
That's
because
my line of the episode.
it's like it's literally within like 3 seconds or she's like, thank you for the pearls. My pearls! It's so fucking hysterical. It's so good.
Oh God!
I think if you view this episode as a comedy, it's significantly
And
better.
kind of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the funniest.
There's some good
I mean,
shit.
Tataka, she's a comedian.
Yeah, I mean, and Renée playing Tataka is a comedian, so there's a lot of good times in
Yeah.
here. Good times.
Eli falls to his knees and he begs the Devi to free him from the demons. He's suddenly gripped by the spirit and raised up into the, well, not the heavens, but into the air.
I love how you're using all this evangelical language to describe it. It's clever. Keep going.
No. I'm going to run out now that you've mentioned it. Xena's jaw is legit on the floor. She's really like, what the fuck is happening?
Isn't she kind of smiling? She kind of knows he's doing it.
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
She's like really weirded out. And then Eli starts freaking out that he's being healed. And then he's like, praise Calliope.
Good one. More evangelical humor.
The crowd goes wild.
And uses the commotion to slip away. So this is a very clever move on Eli's part.
Yeah.
And I love that Gabs looks completely mystified. She
Yeah.
knows she didn't do anything this time.
Right. She steps up to Xena. She's like, what the fuck? I didn't do anything.
I also noticed how careful they were in this scene that Eli didn't touch Gabs. Because presumably his touch as a Devi would have...
Yeah.
What about the
Tataka.
pearls? He fucking crashed right
Well,
into her.
maybe it was just fabric on fabric.
Yeah, there was no skin contact.
Oh, yikes.
The pearls were in the way.
My pearls! Oh, shit. So Eli runs from that square straight to the temple.
He runs.
He just does, that's all he does in this.
He's Sir Robin. Sir Robin ran away. Brave Sir Robin. I can't do that song. I don't know it. It's Monty Python.
He runs straight to the temple and he's filling up his like little tube flask of holy water from the Ganges.
This is a real thing, that the Ganges water is perceived to have healing powers. And in the course of my Google research, I found that you can buy it from the internet. You can buy water from the Ganges for your own exorcism if you want.
Okay.
I'm looking it up.
GangesJal.com. I'm not kidding. So Eli did not need to stay in this town to get his water. He could have just ordered it
From the internet.
and like had the Amazon drones just drop it on him wherever he happened to be.
Okay. Well, he firmly believes that the priest was right and that there's evil afoot. And in the right hands, the holy water will definitely work against any demon.
And this was weird because the way he said it, it's like they're all here, all the demons. And I was like, wait, besides Tataka, there's more demons? And then in the course of the next scene with Ravi, the bodyguard, you realize that he's a demon because the Ganges water works on him. And I was like, wait, her bodyguards are demons too?
I thought it was like that she's controlling them or whatever, so
it still
inadvertently,
works?
like, he gets killed?
Yeah,
Because
which is
of
sad.
this. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought from this line that seemed to imply the existence of multiple demons.
What if it was just like, I mean, he was pointing at a mural in the temple that had pictures of all the demons.
Oh, that's right. He says they're here,
Yeah.
like inside the temple.
That's what he sort of means, I think. Yeah.
It still doesn't explain the situation with Ravi.
I think he was like contact high, from Tataka. So, yeah, the mural now, Xena kind of peruses over the mural and she spots the right demon, this like blonde bitch covered in pearls. My pearls.
There's my pearls right there.
Ooh, let's talk about this picture of Gabrielle that's in this temple.
Yeah, this lovely fan art.
It certainly has the abs.
Yes, it has the abs and the posture is very correct. That is how Renée sits. Really good posture.
Definitely pictures of Tataka that show up in the Google images do not look like.
If you Google
Gabrielle
Tataka,
on the wall
you
here.
get a crazy looking bitch paintings and
Pretty fun.
also Renée O'Connor. It's like,
Yeah.
it is so funny.
Yeah, she is a Hindu demon lady. She's from the Ramayana.
Yep.
And she fights Rama and gets killed.
And gets killed. And has a forest.
And has a forest. That's a cool detail. There is a forest in this episode. That's the only connection to this character.
But I thought Chris kind of invented her own backstory.
Yeah,
for
it's
this
not
Tataka.
like
Yeah, Chris
when-
didn't take anything
Nothing.
from sources other than names.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Eli fills us in on the backstory here for Tataka. She's a conniving little demon who converted hundreds with her sweet face and deceptive good works. She cured the sick and deformed only to send them to the slaughter against the great god Brahma.
Now,
She's a real pearl.
Oh. And then Xena's like, pearls! But
Where have I heard pearls?
I'm so confused by the story mechanics here, because it seems like Tataka just went into Gabs kind of by accident, just flew past her and was like, oh, okay, I'll park here. And now we find out that Tataka had a sweet face, was blonde, had abs, like in a previous incarnation, I guess.
Yeah.
And like Gabs just happens to look exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. That's weird, Chris.
You
I don't
know-
get this.
Tataka got lucky. That's it.
Yeah, she just...
only possesses blondes.
That's not true. She was Maya.
Oh, yeah. What? That would...
But she was like extra happy to find the one that looks exactly like her.
Her and her mural.
Yeah, exactly. So the camera pushes out of the painting and we do this amazing dissolve as Jolo's drums kick in.
Oh, we gotta talk about how great Jolo's work has been this episode. It's so good. This is the one thing where I feel like they did right by India. Like, there's no controversy, at least from where I'm standing. Like, this just is awesome. These seem like, Indian voices, Indian instruments.
Yeah.
Like, he's getting a chance to, really introduce people to a form of music they may not have really heard. And I love just how well it fits into the kind of sound landscape of the show.
Right.
Like, I think it fits with the music we're used to, but it sounds just different enough to be like, oh yeah, this is a new place.
It certainly, in terms of music, sounds it's like a shift away from like the Greek and like Middle East stuff that we've heard. But I mean, he introduced us to new instruments with China. So,
right. And he obviously uses a lot of instruments even in his typical episodes that, like all the Bulgarian stuff. That's not, that kind of sounds different to our Western ears.
So these drums are going nuts, this music's happening, and the dissolve reveals Gabrielle in her demonic transformation. She's sitting exactly like the mural. Lots of core work. I mean, she is off of that throne that she's on. She's in a gazebo in the middle of the town.
I thought maybe
square.
This was the yoga masters.
Oh,
gazebo?
right. She kicked that guy out of there.
She kicked him out.
And took up her throne as a throne room right there.
She looks awesome. I mean, yeah.
She looks awesome.
She looks awesome. It's good.
She's wearing a shirt of pearls that, according to Chris, Rob saw in a movie called Kama Sutra.
Oh, Mira Nair.
And he's like, I want to have a shirt of pearls.
Somebody wear that pearl.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, it looks good. It looks good. I must say, it was just cool. It was so cool that I honestly missed it for the rest of the episode. Maybe it was not the greatest thing for them to fight in. So they switched her out. But it's quite an image.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, are you still investigating how to buy Ganges water?
No, I'm looking up the pearls dress.
Uh-huh.
Confirmed.
Back in the hotel room, Gabrielle is marveling at herself in this mirror. It's like a three-panel
gorgeous
mirror.
shot. And anytime you see a character looking in a mirror, especially a mirror that shows them more than one reflection, that feels symbolic. So if you, the audience, really needed further confirmation that this is not Gabrielle.
Who's the third one?
I don't know. Yeah, I hope.
Oh, shit.
No!
The three faces of Gabs.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty good.
So she starts feeling a little shamed by Xena's grumpy cat face behind her. So she's like, Xena, chillax, this stuff, it's all just gifts from the people I've
I like how she's
healed.
it's a little much, huh? And gives this little self-deprecating laugh. I actually really love just the acting. You start off the scene and she looks scary as fuck. She's doing her Tataka vamp face. Mm-hmm. And then by the time she turns around to look at Xena, she's Gabs again.
Yeah, and she does, takes off the crown. Kind of like how she took off the crown in Crusader, the flower crown.
Oh,
a little shamed.
Great connection. And in this case, hands it to Xena, who's like, what am I going to do with this?
And then she says, I think the more that I dress like them, the more they seem to turn to me for my help.
So there's a reason Yeah, I can accept it. I'm glad they put it in. I'm glad they're not just putting her in these clothes for no reason. Because clearly Rob was just like, do it because I saw it in a movie and it looked great. But they've given her a reason, and that's the way to go.
The line itself, to me, when you, like, say that, it just doesn't sound like the concept that we're talking about when we talk about, like, kind of being, like, accepted into a particular culture. Like, just, it sounds,
she sounds like she's manipulating people.
Like,
which
the line
she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You're right. I'll put that in because it is. You're right. It's also just a little patronizing. Like,
yeah.
if I do this,
well, that's the problem. This is her getting into the murkier territories of, like, if this is truly Gabrielle speaking and not a demon.
Yeah, and at this point, it's impossible.
Yeah, this is why it's so tricky to
Yeah.
even talk about. But
I'll put another coin in. We're really running low on coins. I'm trying to be more frugal. My whole mountain is gone.
Oh, wow. Xena's holding all this stuff that she's been giving her, like all her clothes that she's been taking off, and she drops that flask of Ganges water. Was this on purpose?
It seems so awkward that I assumed so, but I didn't really understand why she would do that. Like, I mean, maybe there was, sorry Garth, something must have gone wrong in the blocking for the scene, because it just didn't work for me. It looked deliberate, and then I was like, but why would she do that deliberately? Just no sense.
And Gabrielle's like, what's that? And she explains, and she's like, it's a little insurance I took out. And then Gabrielle gets offended, because she's like, insurance against me and my demon?
But at the same time, I think Renée played this really well, because when she's like, am I evil incarnate? She says it with enough heartbreak in her voice that I felt bad. Even though I knew she was obviously an evil demon, at least in part. That line felt real to me. Like, that was Gabrielle saying, I've discovered this great thing, and you're just trying to undermine me.
Well, this is, flashes of hope. This is the same thing where she kind of reacts in this angry way, basically with the same kind of tone, like, why aren't you happy for me, Xena? This is totally fine.
Yeah.
When it's like not.
No!
And then she throws the water all over herself, and she's like, am I sizzling now? Am I burning?
Not sizzling yet.
And then Xena just explains, like, it wasn't a test because you need to be a priest to be using this holy water.
And this made me think, watching it, I was like, oh, this is clever of Tataka, because she's now used up all the holy water, and she knew it wouldn't work, and now it's gone. But then Xena, like, brings out, like, a big jug of it, and she's like, I have all of it here. So, like, if that was Tataka's intention, it failed.
So listen, then we have, like, maybe a top 5 tall small of the entire program. Like, it is just a great illustration of the tall smallness of Xena Gabrielle.
Because Gabrielle's barefoot, right?
Yeah.
Which makes her even more small.
She, like barely even reaches her chin.
Aww.
Like, she's like, like maybe up to her shoulders. Like,
Yeah.
anyway, it's very sweet. This is part of the, like, I love Xena in her, like, worried and comforting mode, because she is very, like, gentle with her right here, like, doesn't want her to cry, and they kind of do some, like, swaying and hugging. And it's very nice.
I like this scene. I think this episode is kind of a weird one, because this whole concept, like, on paper, sounds so rich. Like, for Xena Gabrielle scenes, you're like, ooh, Gabrielle's possessed by an evil spirit? That sounds like so much her comfort, and, like, them talking about their relationship. And in the end, it's just 2 scenes, and neither really quite, like, hits the sweet spot for me, and the, like, oh yeah, that is, like, a good one. But this is such a nice moment. I wish I liked it more than I do. I like the hug, but maybe because of that muddled feeling of, is this Gabrielle at all?
Exactly.
It's hard to really plug into the emotions.
I think that this scene literally starts with Tataka and it ends with Gabrielle 100%. Like, and the shift in the scene was that it starts with Xena 100% being like, you're evil, I'm staring at you being evil in this mirror, and then it ends with her feeling bad because Gabrielle kind of, like, shamed her about not being happy for her.
And it shows that Xena really has to tread carefully, because this is Gabrielle too. This isn't just an evil spirit. Like, she can't make that distinction in her mind.
Yeah, and then she says I'm sorry twice to her.
Yeah.
And that seems so real. I don't know.
Yeah, I wish. I don't know. Maybe it's just
Rewatch it.
this episode is, it's good, but it ain't great. So like a scene like this that could have been great somehow doesn't quite push those buttons for me.
I think that those 5 seconds are really
All
great.
right. We'll give it those 5 seconds.
All right, so nighttime in the temple. Eli's just living there now, and then the formerly blind bodyguard Ravi
Ravi.
finds him, and they have like a line exchange party.
Oh God, whose is worse?
They're all bad.
I think Ravi wins for "Aren't You a Sight for Sore Eyes?" Oof, oof.
And so he picks up Eli, he's like gonna throw him, and then Xena runs in, and she's just like, with her line, "That's not nice." Come on, I don't even know. That's not even
I don't know.
It's not even good. It's not even dad humor. Like it's so bad. Oh God! And then they fight.
This is actually pretty cool, this fight. I liked it. I like the way it was framed. It's mostly in a wide shot, and they have this rounded archway that's kind of framing them, and it's very symmetrical. And it's showing off their awesome temple set, which has a great paint job and a great tile job, and very nice lighting. Camera work was like very kinetic and cool. Good job, Garth.
Yeah. I like that Ravi kind of almost bests Xena. Like, she seems to be having a hard time with him at the end of the fight. They have like a sword kind of standoff situation. That was cool.
Yeah.
I like it whenever that happens because it just never happens.
You want Xena to like be realistically challenged, not by fucking Milo, but by someone who looks like they could actually take her. And I think Ravi fits the bill.
So as this is happening and she's like almost defeated, she screams at Eli to squirt some holy water on the guy from her jug. And it was, it reminded me of Lord Seltzer a little bit. Because there was like a little squirt of water.
It was squirty. And then he's like, oh, I'm melting. What a world.
And then maybe one of my favorite lines from the episode, Eli, very calm. What was that about? Because the guy just melted in front of them.
Which is sad, because he was just a guy who was thankful that Xena healed his eye. Not Xena. You know what I mean. So I was sad about that. I was like, this episode is literally killing all the South Asian actors, and I don't know how I feel about that. Meanwhile, there's Maya, who was not killed but just disappeared out of the episode. This episode definitely has a problem.
I think she started her own act.
I like that.
She's definitely successful.
Definitely follow the saga of Maya.
Yeah. So Xena goes, I guess Tataka figured it out. Gabrielle's not the Devi. Eli, you are.
And again, Devi is Hindi for goddess, so that's pretty funny.
You're a goddess, Eli.
Yeah. And Xena fills us in on like what the hell she means about that. You know, back when the whole thing started and Maya was possessed, she knocked her right into Eli. That's like when he healed her, and Gabrielle was just there, and then the demon went into her. Yada yada yada.
Yeah, basically hangs together. When you see it back a second time, you're like, oh yeah, that is actually the sequence of events. So good job for putting that there for people to see.
Yeah, and then the fact that Ravi burned from the water is even more proof that Eli is the Devi. Back in the hotel room, Xena wakes Gabrielle up.
I love this. Oh, sorry. The transition there from, like, Xena says, like, you cast out the demon right into Gabrielle, and you cut to this, like, very creepy shot of the camera pushing in on Gabrielle asleep at the bed. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Xena wakes her up, and she's like, oh, Gabrielle, Eli's been attacked, and we need your services to heal him.
It's a pretty clever way of getting her.
Yeah, and she's, like, ready to go. She's like, great, I'm so there. But then she gets suspicious. Because Ravi has not returned.
I just want to say that, like, when you watch the whole show, and as we know, I have been, getting more and more nervous about just some stuff upcoming that doesn't look so great, that the yellow outfit that she's wearing right now is, like, traumatic almost, where, like, it's, like, her least great look. So I'm like, oh, no.
Her least great look.
We're getting so close to it.
Yeah,
because it's the combo of, like...
Yeah, I was going to say, is it the least great look
loop,
because of the top half?
The whole...
neck and above.
I'll say that I like the outfit. I don't mind the outfit.
I mean,
it's
not like it's like a nice outfit, but I mind but then I'm just like,
she keeps wearing it.
No,
She keeps wearing it.
She just keeps wearing this thing. I mean, I have a problem that this is her devil outfit. That she's like, this is kind of flattering. I'm just gonna
keep
wear
it now.
this evil devil outfit that I wore when I almost killed Xena that one time, and it won't be weird at all. Oh, hi, villagers who I murdered some of you while wearing this outfit. I'm just gonna take this and walk around town for a while, being like, hi.
Well, she puts a scarf around
Yeah,
her shoulder, so it's totally different.
Totally different.
She goes, so, Eli's hurt, is he, Xena? And Xena goes, not as bad as Robbie. Tataka! And then we have this extreme close-up of,
gotta name the demon.
of Gabrielle.
The demon
That's
appears.
true. That always works. Kate's right.
She starts hissing and growling.
What is... I was
She
trying
got
to figure
googly
out
eyes, guys.
what is the camera effect that creates the googly eyes? Is it
It's just sped up.
It's just sped up? I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if it was like a series of jump
It
cuts.
seems
I think
like there's
it's
jump
all
cuts.
sorts of stuff.
Jump cuts
but
and
it's-
speed
because it's like
ramping.
you have her kind of like just look every which way,
It
and then
looked-
you speed it up and
It looked
and cut out some
fabulous.
cue-
It
some
looked
cue brain.
very fun. And
Yeah.
There's a lot of hissing. So much hissing.
Yeah, we need somebody to do like a gif of like googly eyes over
Oh
her.
my gosh.
Um,
So then she kind of spins around and like I love how she kind of holds the sari up to her chest in this really kind of vampy way. She's definitely like she's like Faye Dunaway and Mommy Dearest, just like really working it.
Xena did not see this hissing googly eye situation because she was facing us.
Right.
Not,
It was just
not
for
Xena.
our
It was for our
benefit.
benefit, yeah. So yeah, when she's like turning sweetly to Xena, she's like, good thing I said backup. And then Xena's like, oh shit!
What is the voice that Renee is doing? Should we put a coin in? Just preemptively.
Is it only this one scene?
I think it...
Or is it kind of just...
It fades in and out.
I don't know.
Is this just
is it
like
that
Renee's...
French one she did before?
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
this is her attempt at accents.
I
don't
think
know.
it was not necessary and probably a very incorrect thing. But
Yeah.
she's so much fun
She's
otherwise.
having a great time. She may have just been trying to hiss-speak. Give her the benefit of the doubt,
the
but
hissing
we'll also
accent.
put coins in.
I do think she is trying to do the voice of this Indian demon.
Oh.
Yes, for sure. But
Gasp.
it's very subtle.
I mean, Renee.
I'm not going to apologize for it, though. It's not a great choice.
No, it is not.
Amidst many great choices,
Yeah.
this one was not a great choice.
So Eli is fleeing in the forest. He's just running around, and Xena just appears. I don't know how she managed
teleports.
to
She just
track him down.
flips.
Yeah, she had the Find a Friend app on iPhone. And she's like pissed because they made a deal. Like he was supposed to help her save Gabrielle.
But he's just too weaselly a dude.
Yeah. She's like, I need you to do an exorcism. And he's like, fuck no. I ain't doing that.
And she's like, okay, scratch that. Help me do an exorcism.
Yeah.
And he's like, are you an exorcist? And she's like, I am now.
Gonna go on the internet. Get that
How to
Ganges water.
exercise. Yeah.
And so she asks like what the fuck she needs to do one, and he's like, you need an icon from Gabrielle. She's like, fine, I'll get that. So now we have some fun times with Tataka.
And the poor extras who really these extras are great because they don't really do acting Olympics. They're just good. Whenever you see them suffering, you're like, oh no, these poor people.
Yeah. So what is she doing, Katie? Do you want to explain some of this?
I don't even know.
She's like, I don't know, she's marching people around and like having her goons rough them up for reasons, I guess. Maybe for more pearls. I don't know.
My note just says she's strutting to I'm Too Sexy by Right Said Fred.
Oh my god, she is. She really is. She is working it.
And, well, I don't know. She's, like, talking to us, I guess, to the audience. She's like, first, I eliminate Xena. And then...
Yeah, what is this?
Eli won't have a prayer.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, Tataka loves pearls and exposition.
To the camera.
Two faves.
To no one. Exposition for nobody.
Xena meanwhile, is trying to find that icon of Gabrielle, so she flips right into their hotel room on the balcony, and the bodyguards don't see her, so she sneaks right in there, and she chooses Gabrielle's quill.
This was weird because first she pulls out the scroll.
Yeah,
and I
and
was
she's
like,
like,
isn't
not
the
as
scroll more meaningful than the quill?
Quill is mightier.
All right.
She liked that episode.
Maybe it's easier to carry.
Yeah, it probably is.
Well, also, maybe, you know what it is? She didn't want to put water on the scroll and ruin it.
Oh, Vera, you just
Good
schooled
thinking,
me.
even though she likes to use it as
Toilet
TP.
paper, yep. She was like, this is some good shit. I'm going to use it later.
I mean,
Anyway.
she throws it away like, oh no, not this piece of junk.
This is nice to have this as her representation in when we were just talking about
But she
kind of
doesn't
how
really
it's like
talk
not-
about
yeah.
being a bard anymore. But yeah, here is it. Her bardness being used to save her.
So she jumps down into the courtyard, and Tataka and her goons are like,
Oh, this was the part I was talking about. Where
they're
poor
roughing up
extras.
the extras and sticking, like throwing them into the temple because they're like trying to find Xena.
I guess so. It doesn't look like a very effective way of doing that.
And so then, oh god, Tataka is just on fire now. Not, I mean, not
Not
literally, but
on
she will
fire
be
later.
soon. But
This is like worth. Just all of this is just so worth it.
This it really is.
so Xena's like looking for me, and Tataka's like, ha ha, not anymore.
Jeez. We
Oh,
talked
shit.
about this back in the Hope days, but how much fun does Renee have when she gets to play evil?
The most.
She has the most fun. It's so nice to see.
But this one is like really let loose, you know?
Yeah,
like,
this is
she's
beyond.
just,
We
having
thought
so
Hope
great. Yeah.
was unsubtle.
Yeah,
this
but,
is
yeah,
like,
but that was like
whoa.
a deeper performance with like a lot of characters.
Yeah, it got deeper as it went.
Yeah,
Whereas this, she
Tataka
has
just loves pearls.
5 minutes to make a big impression.
Yeah, she does.
All of our stereotypes from the beginning are going to come back
Because we really needed to see all of them again.
in really amusing ways.
That's true. They are all used for the fight. All of them. My favorite part is when Xena whips out the quill and the Ganges water, and Tataka does jazz hands like at the sky and goes, exorcism! Like a cheering squad.
She freaking makes fun of Xena.
Yeah.
And then she's like, you want me out? You're gonna have to kill a sweet little body to do it.
Oh dear.
I don't think you can.
Oh dear.
And she's, you know, she says that she does a little like shimmy.
Xena, I didn't write down the line, but it's probably like, think again.
No, she goes,
says,
watch me.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, Tataka's like, you don't have it in you.
Yeah, and
He's
then
like, "Watch
kicks
me."
her, and she goes flying straight into the
Hot coal.
Yep.
And
She like she yoga Dracula's up from the coals.
Yeah.
does.
We haven't
She
really talked
yoga
about her, like,
Draculas.
she has, like, full-on makeup now.
Oh
like,
yeah, I
Tataka.
love it.
Yeah, and
It
she
looks
has,
good.
I think it's called Alta.
Alti.
Okay. No, not Alti. Alta. It's like the red on
Yeah.
her fingers and toes, which is, I think, used in weddings.
Oh, okay.
And stuff, and like representative of goddess Lakshmi. And I think it's just here for style.
Lakshmi is commonly depicted with a lotus. Boom!
What you said last week.
Yeah.
Definitely
And Gabs is the
all
lotus.
of this stuff is being thought through, and it's not just there for the aesthetic.
Obviously.
All right, so we got this close up of her feet on the coals, and she does a sexy sizzle.
Oh my god. I mean, I keep saying oh my god like it's so awful, but I love it.
Oh my
very
god.
fun.
Oh, that sizzle is just incredible.
Oh, it's the best.
Xena's like, I'm warning you, Tataka. Get out while you still can. And she's like, and give up this face and this firm, strong body?
I mean,
Fat chance!
And she does the leaks.
face lick.
Sizzle.
Face lick that sizzles and leaves a really, really cool mark.
Yeah.
Horrible. I'd say cool, but to each their own.
No, I mean both. It's horrible and cool.
Yeah. Anyway, great shot. Great shot. Love a good face lick.
Yeah, there was a interview with Renee about that, and she's like, she said that she thought she would have a lot more fun than she did because there was just a lot of makeup taste.
I'm sure that's gross.
Love that Renee was expecting to have some fun with the face licking scene.
It's also really great in practical magic.
Oh,
It's always great.
a good face lick.
You gotta be possessed,
Yeah.
and you
gotta
gotta
lick the face.
some lady. Yeah,
Who you love.
or your sister.
Well,
Totally
they're
fine.
sisters who kiss.
Totally fine.
Both here and
Yep.
there.
It's really cool to see Renee do fights. Like, this is the first time
Yeah.
Renee has fought Xena. Like, in
Right.
a big slam down final scene.
And it's pretty great. And I love that Tataka always is like on the offensive.
Yeah.
I guess I really like when Xena gets beat up like in a legitimate way.
Absolutely, and you totally believe it here. She's
Yeah.
fighting a demon in the
Yeah.
body of her best friend. Presumably, she's like, "Oh, I don't want to
Right.
go full throttle on
even
this."
even the coals that she was standing on, she chakramaed like some water behind them to put them out because she didn't want her feet to be
Yeah,
burned.
burnt forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's still hoping to save her. That's a good indication right there.
Right. So Tataka kicks Xena onto the needles and starts doing like a trampoline jumps on her back.
Couldn't decide if this was fun or bad.
This is bad.
That's me watching this episode. Fun or bad?
Fun or bad?
bad?
Can it be both?
Yeah,
No, I
why
don't
not
know.
both?
Can it? I don't know.
It kind of straddles the line in places. Like, I think at first I was like, oh, hee on the nails, cool. And then I was like, it's going on.
It's going on for a
It's
long
going on.
time. Yeah, there were like 5 jumps.
I do really like her physicality in general, though. How sometimes she turns it into a dance, like the fighting. This physicality where she's just, jumping heavily on Xena's back. I was like, oh, dear. But in general, I like what they've done with the stunt work here, even though I feel like the stunt face is very visible.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. In the white
Especially-
shots.
yeah.
It
Big
might be an
time.
editing
More than
issue.
normal, yeah.
Yeah. Xena manages to throw her off, and then Tataka does the snake charming situation for like no
For
reason.
no
She doesn't
reason.
send the snake
She
at
just
Xena.
knows, like, oh, what from the offensive montage haven't we used? The snake charmers. I'll just dance next to them. Look, I'm a snake. I'm a snake.
Oh my gosh.
that
Did
happened.
you know that I learned that snakes, they do the snake dance? It's not because of the music, it's because of the actual motion of the person.
Oh.
And it follows the motion
Follows
of the
the
person.
person.
So the guy could be doing like
Playing anything.
he could be reading poetry, and the
I-
snake would be like.
I think so.
Cool.
I don't know. These are internet facts.
Oh,
And they
okay.
must be
So-
true.
Yeah. So then Xena gets the advantage and throws Gabrielle to the ground and grabs her sword, and she's gonna impale.
Do you think she
Gabrielle.
would have? I think maybe.
I think so.
She'd have to.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's hard,
I mean, this is
It's
the
not-
thing where she's gonna throw that baby off a cliff. I think so.
Yeah.
All right. The thing
She
is,
doesn't
right,
threaten to do things and then not go through with them.
guys. Here's my question. The rules were you gotta kill her to get the demon out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, why didn't she just do the pinch, kill her there, get the demon out, then
They
resuscitate?
didn't invent that yet.
What do you mean? She knows CPR.
I mean, I think if she kills
Just
her,
put that
she's
together,
dead. You can't. If she resuscitates her, then Tataka won't be.
No, like Tataka would escape as soon as she's dead.
and then she'd resuscitate
She's
her.
an
But
She
you
could
can't
go into
Xena. She could go into
resuscitate
Xena.
A dead person. Like,
Well,
they're
she'd be dead, like clinically, like in
They
what's it
literally
called?
do this in the future.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot they do that. Like from.
She has not
death.
invented this
She's
yet.
Well,
she
she could have
hasn't invented
She
it
could have
yet,
started
that's
here.
why. I totally forgot about that. That doesn't seem to quite work with the pitch. Like, you need, like, clear
Right.
defibrillation
She
to
needs
get that.
the lightning to strike
Yeah.
a kite and tie it to Gabrielle.
Yeah.
300 charge. All right, so she's gonna stab her, and then suddenly we hear Tataka go, Xena! Right? Growl. Then,
Maybe it's just like really fast. Like it's just too fast to murder. I don't know. Like she should maybe like capture Tataka and put her in, like lock her in a room until she can figure out how to like exercise.
That's true.
That would have been the less dramatic
Like
option.
instead of
Yeah.
murdering Gabrielle, I don't think that. I think maybe she would have done something like that instead.
Yeah,
like, maybe
there
she
definitely
shouldn't
were
just jump
other
to murder.
solutions. Yeah.
Yeah, she was ready to go. So Tataka screams Xena, then we get like a pain Xena, then we have a trademark soft voice Gabrielle Xena,
Yeah, this is
and
rough.
then we have a Z, and then just crying.
Oh.
Is it still the demon? Is it Gabrielle?
It became Gabrielle.
It could be
And
tricky
then
demon.
Xena's face.
I don't believe that bitch could successfully do patented soft voice.
She did.
No, I mean, it's Gabrielle.
Yeah, okay,
it's not
good.
Tataka.
Yeah. No, it's
She's very
Gabrielle. Yeah.
Exorcist, right? With the length.
This is,
you know.
I wrote in my notes, this is some Pazuzu shit, because that's what the demon from The Exorcist does. And this actual, like, whole scenario that we're about to do with Eli coming in as, like, the reluctant exorcist is so The Exorcist. Everything about this finale is Exorcist.
Is this getting into the TV trope hijacked by Jesus?
Oh,
Wow.
good
The
one.
scene literally
Yeah.
will be in a second.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's funny because the
I
scene
don't
is
know if it
hijacked
does.
by Jesus.
Because you are getting this, like, yeah, we don't quite know what's going on yet,
Yeah.
but it is being, like, saved, yeah.
That's funny because he's like, the power of Christ compels you. I'm Christ, and I'm compelling you with my power.
Even though Gabrielle is whispering Xena at Xena, Xena is still psyching herself up to kill Gabrielle.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna do it. And then Eli hijacks the scene.
Yeah, he just runs in.
And he's like, no! He wants to try to save Gabrielle. And this kind of distracts Xena, so Tataka's able to, like, throw sand at her.
Oh, I love that close-up shot of
the
her
hand.
hand
Yeah.
grabbing the sand. Just
Yeah.
real, looked straight out of a comic book. Like, really dramatic angle. Real good.
It was good, yeah.
Yeah.
And so after that, she grabs Xena's sword and, like, sprints at Eli. And Xena kind of, like, torpedo spins at her and, like, shoves her right at him again.
He didn't get her yet.
And, yeah, well, then she puts the pinch on her. And that was so dramatic when we first watched it. You know?
This pinch lasts for, like, 2 minutes.
Yeah, way more than 30 seconds. She's
Way.
like, 30 seconds. And he's like, what?
I need more time. to almost 2 minutes, to be exact.
And here again, Tataka gets her best exorcist on by trying to undermine him via, like, questioning his faith.
Yeah. She's really, like, messing with his brain. She's like, charlatan, fraud. Who are you to challenge me? And then she's like, the power you seek, it's a lie.
That's a good part because by that point her nose is bleeding from the pinch and yeah, her voice has kind of gotten softer and it actually is very chilling. For a second, Renée goes from the sort of vampy, hilarious evil to something that feels more potent and disturbing.
Yeah. Xena's like, all right, I gotta step in and coach this dude. And she's like, clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose! And she's like, you find that power and you save my friend.
Oh, I love her in this scene so much.
Yeah, she is really wonderful here.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
It's quiet work, but it's really, so moving.
Mm-hmm.
So he asks once again, Abba, help me, and touches Gabs. The demon is out. Screams like the crustaceans into the air.
And luckily it doesn't possess anyone else.
Yeah, it does not go into Xena.
Phew! I don't see how they had any
Oh my
guarantee.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, and then Xena's, like, watching it go, and she's so distracted she nearly forgets to take the pinch off of Gabrielle.
Yeah.
She
it's
hears
been
like these
so long.
sweet little wheezing noises.
Yeah, she's like literally choking.
So, yeah, now we're, like, in the, like, most kind of touching sort of moment
Yeah,
of
it
this
involves
episode.
touching.
Yeah, yep.
I really
literally.
love that Gab, she's literally, I don't know what she thinks has been happening to her for the last half hour, but like I love that her very first instinct is to reach for Eli, being like, I know you helped me. It's very
Yeah,
sweet.
I
There's
think
a lot of
she's
wordless
self-aware.
communicating.
Yeah,
And it's all
yeah, I
good.
guess so. She knows.
Yeah,
She knows what
but
Eli
I
did.
did love the thank you to Eli via touching. She puts his hand on her face.
Her face, yeah, really, and he looks very in awe of it.
Yeah.
And you know, these characters are in a way going to have a much more important relationship than Eli and Xena. So
Yeah.
it's cool that in this episode they give a little moment for that.
Yeah, and then Eli and Xena have their own kind of eye contact.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So.
And Xena, you know, Miss Tough Guy, is
Yeah.
really not so tough here at all.
No.
It's so like, oh, thank you. Oh.
So good.
Just like do a little comforting snuggle.
Yeah, she kind of like has to pull her over. Like, you come here, you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Do a
little
rock.
rocking
Yeah.
and forehead kissing. All good stuff.
So then we have our sorry wipe, and
Well, that's the sorry one.
yeah, this is the end. I don't know. They use it one time, and we have our like the elephant and the lady are back, and we're walking in the square, Xena and Gabrielle are saying goodbye to Eli. Gabrielle invites him to travel with them, but he declines.
He's like, you guys don't have enough money to hire me for the next episode, so don't worry, I'll be back.
Well, he says he wants to have a think.
Yeah, he needs a think.
And Xena goes, some things don't bear too much thinking about. Some things you've just got to take on faith.
And yeah, I agree. It makes sense for Xena in this moment to feel this, because, yeah, look at her whole strategy for saving Gabs. I think she just had faith in Gabs and in her being saved.
Well, seeing is believing, and she saw.
And she had faith in Eli before anyone else, before even Eli had faith in Eli. So that's pretty impressive of Xena, Miss Non-Believer.
I know. And then this is where kind of like Gabrielle gives us the information that she was a little bit self-aware during this whole process, and that if there's like this bad power in her, then there's a much greater, better power out there.
And stronger.
And then Gabrielle's like, well, can we travel with you? And he's like,
No.
no, stop asking. Take a hint, lady.
But she says she doesn't think he should be alone. And he's like, I'm not alone. And you're like, whoa. Who's this guy? I have no idea.
And they hug. And then Xena says thanks to him. And he says thanks to her.
So genuine. Oh,
It is really nice. It's nice
I
to
love
see
it.
Xena making this really genuine connection with someone.
So he takes off, and then Gabrielle, as they like watch him leave, wonders what he meant. Xena says she doesn't think even he knows what he meant.
Yeah, he says
Just yet.
his line is, "I don't think I am."
Well, that's true. He's
which
not
allows
sure
for
yet.
some doubt.
And the final shot is Eli walking out of this city into presumably the wilderness. No.
Yeah, you're gonna have this
the wilderness.
40
The 40
days in the desert.
So Eli fucking Christ. And that's the episode. Devi.
Yep.
The Devi.
Not Devi.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of
It's
fun.
hard to get to the end and not sort of go like, I had a good time with this. I think it's possible to see the mistakes, but also look at the achievements and be like, fun, you get a pass.
I mean, I prefer
Not
this
everything gets a
episode.
pass.
Well, I mean, they get a pass for doing
Yes.
this episode.
Yeah.
Not all the choices were good.
Considering how last episode had Xena in like ferret face, that was like the worst choice ever. So
That was real bad.
this episode was much better.
You prefer Tataka to
Oh my
ferret
God,
face
she was
Xena?
so much fun, and she looked amazing. I loved her pearl shirt and the abs and the acting, the hissing. She's such a vamp. Oh, I loved her. I miss her. I miss Tataka.
Oh.
Well, yeah, my final thought, I guess, is just frustration that, I mean, Eli, an important character, why is he introduced here in this India episode? And why are there no Indian characters who are important? Like, it just is frustrating.
Soon.
Yeah, I mean, I know there eventually will be, though I think nobody as memorable as, say, Lao Ma from the China arc.
Yeah.
And I think that's just an essential problem with India, is you can tell that they really wanted to, like, go to the place and deal with the religions, but didn't necessarily, like, care about the people. And
Well,
I
they
think
didn't introduce like a girlfriend of the week for Xena. That's how you become memorable, like Lama.
it
Duh.
is. I mean, the next one has Alti, who, you know.
Yeah.
So it's.
Yeah, I guess like she could have, instead of been Alti, it could have been like, well, no, because Alti's a baddie.
Yeah.
So we wanted a girlfriend for.
I mean, just
somebody.
I would have taken anybody. Like, yeah, I think next episode the main character is Alti. The Way, we'll get to the Way, but you know, I feel like the main character to emerge from the India arc is Eli, and
That's weird. I
That's
thought it was
weird.
Krishna. Yeah, Eli definitely emerged.
It sounded
don't know what
weird.
I don't know. I'm gonna say that I know the Old Testament a lot better than the New Testament, but didn't Jesus have a whole stint in India?
It is.
So-
I'm not going to say apocryphal because I think it's more controversial than that, but there were a lot of guys, particularly in I think like the late 1800s maybe, who like loved this as an idea and like kept floating it as a thing. And all the
New Testament scholars were like, no, it's not a thing. Stop saying it's a thing. But yeah, I think as there was more Hinduism and yoga and all these things coming to the West, I think it makes sense.
So just put Jesus there.
That people were like, yeah, let's make sense of the fact that there are resonances in these religions with Christianity. How can we explain this other than like Jesus did it first? It's terrible.
Yeah.
But well, actually, no, it's the opposite.
he wouldn't.
It's Hinduism doing it first,
Yeah.
and Jesus was there taking notes. That's their
Is
their
this
idea.
like young Hercules, like young Jesus?
Yeah.
Like where
Yeah.
Before he
Lost.
was Jesus, he was
unknown time jump.
yeah. The lost, I forget, 18 years.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all very people write their fanfic, and some people like it, and some people are like, no.
So they based this off the fanfic
Yeah.
then. So there you go.
Yeah, and there's a quote from Rob saying that he originally wanted to call the character Isa, which is the Islamic Jesus. That's Jesus in Arabic. And everybody was like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. That is how Jesus in India was referred to. So he really wanted to make it much more specifically like, this is what I'm doing.
All right. So
Right?
it's Eli.
I'm saving this conversation for the way.
Yeah, there will be a lot more to say about these issues in the way.
All right, you heard this preview first here on Xena Warrior Podcast.
Put a pin in!
Yeah. All right, well, we did it. We did this episode. All the demons have been cast out.
Yay.
So you can follow us on all this stuff and things.
XenaWarriorPodcast.com, one-stop shop for everything ever. You can find links there to our merch store where some Xena Did It First shit with pride. It's really great stuff. It's not shit, it's awesome. We have the t-shirts and the mugs ourselves, and it's super great. So go look that up. You can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Xena Warrior Podcast. We are a podcast that you can listen to. Yeah, that's the other stuff. It's on Apple Podcasts, where, you know what, it would be super cool if you took a sec and rated us with stars that are, lots of them. 5 is cool. 5 is the best.
And if you want to even be really more awesome, you could take a few minutes and write us a review on Apple Music. It would just be the bestest.
It's not for us. It is, but it's not. It's for people to find the podcast better.
And we are also on like every other podcast catching thing that you would want to listen to. Twitter at Xena Warrior Pod, and Facebook and Tumblr Xena Warrior Podcast, Instagram Xena Warrior XW Podcast. I don't remember.
YouTube, something or other.
We're on everything.
The power.
The passion.
The podcast.